Today I'm going to be reviewing this electric coffee grinder that I recently purchased from Wancle, and I purchased this on Amazon. So I did want to go ahead and just kind of show you what the box is going to look like all the way around. So it just shows you how easy it is to use on the side there, gives you some fineness instructions. But I'm going to open this up and show it to you, and then I'm going to actually test it out on how it works on actually grinding up coffee beans. And it looks like this is going to be glued. There we go. So let me pull this out of the box here. It's got the instructions inside of there. Hopefully shouldn't need those. It has this little brush you can use to get some of the coffee ground out after you get it ground up. And let me rip this off. And there we go. All right, so this is what it's gonna look like. The actual lid is just gonna kind of sit and pop off. So this is gonna kind of slide down into place. And then I am not seeing like an on-off button, so I assume it comes on when you plug it in. I'm going to guess, but I'm not positive on that. So let me go ahead and read the instructions real fast. So I read the instructions, and actually the on-off is going to be this little arrow thing here. So when you push this down, it's going to come on, and then you let it off, it's going to come off. Now, this is obviously going to be a relatively small coffee grinder. So they recommend that you don't fill it above the brim. So that's going to be this little brim in here. And it's only going to fit up to 60 grams. So it's going to be relatively small. I'll give you the measurements of what exactly it comes out to in regards to the coffee, ground coffee. I'm going to fill it all the way up to the brim here, just making sure I get enough in it. And then, okay, so I've got it all the way filled up to the brim. I'm going to put this lid down now. And now I'm going to take and plug this in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind up the coffee beans. And they are ground, so now I'm just going to unplug it. Just going to then pop off this lid. You're going to make a pretty good mess just because of the way it grinds them up. So you can see here I kind of got grounds all over my countertop here. So you're probably good to like tap that or that sort of a thing. And then I'm going to take this measuring cup just to measure how much it got. You could obviously take this and grind up a little bit more. It did keep a lot of stuff inside of there. So it does come with this little brush that you can use to kind of get the grounds out. Again, you're going to want to make sure that it is unplugged before you do this. I'm not sure why it didn't actually just kind of fall out of there in the first place. Like you have to use this little brush to get it out. So that's definitely going to be a downside to me, is that it doesn't like smoothly just kind of fall out of there. But I got the majority of it out there. So let's see what we made in regards to ounces. So total we made was about 3 ounces or so of ground coffee in one shot. So that might work for about a pot. Maybe if you're making like 3/4 of a pot, something like that. My wife likes to add a lot more coffee to hers, so probably wouldn't even be enough for a single pot for her. But for most people that might equal up to a pot. And again, it's going to depend on like how strong you prefer your coffee. So does definitely work really nicely. It just has this little button that slides down, up and down. That's what's going to actually power it. So essentially it's got this little thing here that pushes down, and it pushes down on this front part here on the Wancle. And then that is what causes the blades to spin inside. So overall, definitely a pretty decent coffee grinder. But if you're going to be grinding a lot of coffee, you're probably going to want something bigger than that, since you can only make 3-ish ounces of coffee per grind.